Hi and welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited that you joined me here again today for a great video. In today's video, I will be taking you through a very high-level review of a book that me and some of the ladies in my community read, and I know that as it changed my life, it will also change your life as well. One of my 2019 goals was to read more. I wanted to spend more time reading good books, expanding my perspective, learning new things, learning different perspectives, and sharing my knowledge with other women in my community. And I'm so excited that I was able to do that. And I am also expanding and extending some of the learnings that I gathered to you as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Keep watching. As I thought about the different books to read this year, I thought about the different aspects of my life where I wanted to grow and develop. Personal growth is a very important topic for me, and I'm so excited that this book that I'm going to share with you today helped me with respect to my personal growth. The book that I'll be reviewing and sharing with you today is Daring Greatly by Brene. I would recommend this book to every woman out there in whatever phase of life you find yourself. It is a book that will help you be more, do more, and stretch yourself. I had been going through different lists of books that were recommended for women to read, and I kept seeing Brene and had different books that she's written, and I had never heard of her before. The first thing I did was to check out what people were saying about the book. People that had read it, the different resources that were out there, and I came across one of her TED Talks that she did, which definitely convinced me to read the book. And here I am, months later, after reading the book. I'm so excited that I decided to go on this journey. Going through the process of reading a book as a book club was a great experience for me. This was the first time I had ever done it, and the biggest part was being able to share our different perspectives and different learnings that we had gathered from reading the same book. It's so interesting how different people have different perspectives from reading the same chapters, and I'm so excited that we did this, and I'm looking forward to the next book that we'll be reading in this quarter. If you ask me to share 3 reasons why I think it's important for you to read this book, they will be the following. Number 1, there's so much to learn. There's so many life lessons and so many things that we can do if we are bold and if we dare to be great. Number 2, it is very important for us to become aware of what some of the hurdles are that are stopping us from being great and doing great things. The third reason that I will recommend that you read this book is that you get to hear from other people's perspectives so you don't feel alone on your journey. So those are the 3 reasons that I will recommend that you read this book. Let's start with point 1, understanding what vulnerability means to me. Being vulnerable to me means that I put myself in situations that I typically will not put myself in. I have built a wall, and I try very hard not to put myself in situations where I'm not sure how I'll handle things, where I'm not sure how everything will work out, and I have successfully stopped myself from being vulnerable. And I have successfully stopped myself from being vulnerable and trying different things out. Moving to the second step, seeing that being vulnerable is not a negative thing. For me, in my life, feeling uncomfortable in a situation always brings up negative feelings. And even worse, admitting to the fact that I feel uncomfortable when doing something new is something that I do not like at all. Before I read this book, you would hardly hear me talk about how I felt uncomfortable doing new things or trying new things out. Now I am being bold, and I'm sharing more of my vulnerability with people around me. The third aspect, learning the different armor that I use so I don't feel vulnerable, was mind-blowing for me. After reading the book and hearing about the different vulnerability armors that we put on to stop ourselves from being vulnerable, I could really relate with one of them. The vulnerability armor that I had been shielding myself with is one that Brene called foreboding joy. I had been shielding myself from being vulnerable when something went wrong by not being too excited when things went right, because I was always expecting something to go wrong. It was kind of a safety place for me to think that, okay, things might be going really well, but I want to make sure I'm prepared for when things go wrong. So it's always expecting that if things go right, there might be something small that will go wrong. And it was eye-opening to me when I read it. I went back and I read it and I'm like, oh wow, this is me. The fourth thing of getting useful tools that we can apply and use in our life, for me, it was applying a tool that helped me address my vulnerability shield of foreboding joy. The tip that Brene shared to counter the armor that I was putting up of foreboding joy was practicing gratitude. Practicing gratitude means that whenever something goes right, I take the time and I make the time to appreciate that that thing has gone right. Just even saying it like, this worked out and I'm so excited, was a way for me to go through the motions of not expecting that something will go wrong, being in the now, enjoying that something just went really right. And I'm so excited that I learned that tip and I have been practicing it ever since. The fifth one, and one that really has changed the way I looked at my goals in 2019, was to define a daring greatly goal. And a daring greatly goal can be seen as a goal that you work towards, although you're scared. And for me, there are many things that I do not do because I'm scared, and I do not even put them on my goals list because I'm like, yeah, if I don't get to it, I will be really disappointed. And again, I don't like being disappointed, so I left them off my goal list. This book helped me go back and review my 2019 goals and see, what would I do if I did not feel scared? What will I do if I did not think I would fail? And I added some new goals to my list that I would never have ever put on my list. I started having bold conversations about things that I wanted and things that were important to me that I would never have had. I started thinking about conversations that I wanted to have, but I had not had because I was afraid. And some of these conversations have been life-changing. Being very clear of what I want, what it is I'm working towards, what it is I'm hopeful for the future has been mind-blowing and life-changing. In summary, I would like to challenge you to do 3 things. Number 1, pick up a copy of Daring Greatly and read it. Number 2, share your Daring Greatly goal with me, share your Daring Greatly goal with other people. And number 3, be bold and dare to do great things. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.